Hi, I'm Dreyer and welcome to the Financial Freedom Challenge, where our mission is to help you to create, to grow, to protect and to enjoy your wealth. And today I'd like to ask you a question. Why do you want to be rich? And this was basically a question that I was asked yesterday. I had an interview with SABC2. They spent like almost 6 hours here in my house. And they started basically the interview by asking me the question, but what drives you? Okay? And I said to him, I wanted to be rich. In other words, I wanted to make money. And I could see that that was not the answer that they expected, because the people that they interviewed before me, the so-called successful people, you know, they had this passions and dreams, and that is what motivates them. And he then came back and he said, but what was the one thing that motivates you to become successful? And I said, I wanted to make money. I wanted to be rich. And here's my question to you. Why do you want money? Why do you want to be rich? Why do you want to be successful? You see, I wanted to know, to have that simply because I knew at a very, very young age that if I could have enough money, I could be able to do whatever I want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it, where I wanted to do it. That's what I see as financial freedom. I did not know at that age, because I was 10 when I discovered this. At the age of 10, I already knew the basics of business, the basics of investments. Because, you see, this is not something that is, we are born with this. It's natural, but we listen to other people, and because of that, we make life very, very difficult for us, simply because we do not understand that we need to understand. So let me tell you a little story. I told them the story as well. Or a very small portion of the story. The story basically goes like this. Whenever I asked my mom for money, she would say there's no money. And I needed stuff. I needed cool drink, and I needed to play pinball, and I needed to, and not, to me it wasn't a want. I needed that, you know, because my friends could do it and they got pocket money and I did not receive any pocket money. So I started to find creative ways in order to get money so that I could participate and that I could do those things that my friends were doing. But one day I saw this person open up a garage with a lot of Coke bottles in it, crates with Coke bottles. And to me, that thing had enormous value, because I could exchange that for physical money, and I could exchange that physical money in order to be able to do those things that I wanted to do. Right. So, unfortunately, I wanted that, but there was no ways that I could get it. So I told my friend, Willie, about this whole story. And I said to him, there's a treasure there. There's a ton of little Coke bottles. There's a lot of money there. So one day, each and every time that we passed that house with our bikes, I would check that out. And one day, as we approach, the owner opens this garage. So we stop. And I showed Willie all those crates of bottles. And then an amazing thing happens. He pulled out his car, went into the garage to fetch his lawnmower. And as he got out, I said to Willie, go and ask him if we can wash his car. Willie was too shy or too afraid to do it in exchange for the bottles. So I went up to this man and I said to him, sir, Wim, kan ek jou kar was? Can I wash your car in order to get to the bottles? He says, there's no ways that I'm going to give you those bottles to wash my car. I said to him, what about mowing the lawn for you? He said, how many times? As soon as he said how many times, now with hindsight, I can tell you the whole process that followed. I started the canvas. First of all, I see the market, the person. I saw the need that he's got, right? Secondly, I approached him to understand what his problem. I thought his problem would be the car. His problem wasn't the car. His problem was the law. That was his problem. He wanted to have a nice, but he had to put in a lot of time and effort in order to be able to do it. Here I'm offering a service. He said, I said 2 times. He said, no, make it 4 times. I said, okay, deal. He said, but you have to trim the sides as well. I said, the deal. I've never mowed a lawn at that stage in my life, because we stay in a flat, right? I've never mowed, but I knew that Willie, my friend, could mow a lawn because he has done it before. For that reason, I know, and I knew as a team that we could do it. So here's the whole process. First of all, I canvassed. I did a pre-sell to see if he's going to take it. It did not work out. I immediately tried another one. I said, okay, what about the lawn? He said, okay, the lawn. I then went and I said, okay, we'll do it. He said, no, wait, not 2 times. You have to do it for a month, 4 times. I accepted that, the prototype, right in there. So I then explained to this interviewer, and I said, what I discovered at a very, very young age, you can have as much money as you want on condition that you deliver value. In other words, the only way that I could get that money was for me to either have the skills or to learn the skills and to add value, because unless I could add value, he would not pay me. To today, unless you can add value, no one is going to pay you. And the amount of money that you receive is in direct relation with the amount of value that you add either to your boss or to the community or to the world. So all you have to do in order to get all the money that you want is simply to say, right, how can I add enormous amounts of value to other people? And that then becomes the purpose. So the purpose, the driving force, is to make the money so that I do not have to work. But in order to get there, I have to do something, and we call that adding value. And this is how I've built each and every business and investment that I've ever had. I wanted to make the money. Once I've got the money, the reason for the money is to be financially free. And then the only way that I could make it was to add value. So I would sit down and say, okay, how can I become extremely valuable to other people in such an extent that they are willing to pay me to solve their problems and to make life easier for them? And that's all that you have to do. If you do that and you do that well, you will have all the money in the world. So, let me ask you a question then. Why on earth, and this is basically the challenge, I want you to write down, why do you want to be rich? Why do you want to be financially free? Let's call it financially free, because a lot of people have got issues with becoming rich. Why do you want to be financially free? And the way that I would go about is to plot down the 7 areas of life. In other words, say financially, what house do I want to stay in? You know, what's the environment that I want to create? Yesterday, when these people came to my house, they were saying, this is an incredible environment that you've set up here, because I've got like 5 hectares, you know, thousands of cycads and a lot of palm trees and a nice garden and a nice house, because I like it where I stay. Other people may not agree with me, but I feel at home here and in my home. This is the way that we created it. So what do you want? When are you going to be happy? When will you feel good about yourself? When you surround yourself in terms of your house, in terms of the car that you drive. You know, do you feel good about your car or not? Well, if you don't feel good about your car, it's going to reflect. So, why do you want this money financially? How many times do you want to travel overseas, or don't you want to travel overseas? What do you do with that money? Right, in terms of your vocation, in terms of your job, in terms of your profession, what value can you add? Why do you want to have a lot of money in your job? Well, one of the reasons when I started, I wanted to do a lot of courses. That's one of the reasons. The second thing is I want to have technology. You know, when I started off in the insurance game, like a computer, to be able to help me to do my job and to do it to the best of my abilities. I wanted to enroll in courses that cost me money so that I could improve my skills. You know, to learn more about taxes and more about trust and more about insurance and more about estate duties and stuff like that. That's why I wanted to have the money. Then in terms of your family, you know, why do you want to have a lot of money? Well, I can take my family places. I can provide for them. I can give them whatever they want. That's the reason. So sit down and write down every single reason why you want to be financially free or why you want to have a lot of money. Now, in 2002, my life changed because I then for the first time discovered why I needed to become financially free. And that was when I started teaching. And that is only the 4th level of freedom, because the first one is financial freedom, the second one is time freedom, then it's the freedom of purpose, choice, and then it's purpose freedom. So in 2002, when I started teaching, I knew why I was called and why I was born, and that was to teach, right? And to teach people how simple this whole process really is, because a 10-year-old child can do it. Now, one of the things that this guy remarked yesterday was, it was the first time, I was the 24th person that they interviewed, right? And he said each and every one of those successful people were in a hurry, and they had other appointments, and everything had to be on schedule. And here he comes and he says, okay, what's the schedule? I said, you've got the whole day. You've got tomorrow, and you've got the day after that. I've got an appointment on Wednesday. I've got an appointment with a friend. We're going to drink a cup of coffee, and that's the only appointment that I've got. And he looked at me as if I was from another planet. He said to me, Hannes, it's the first time that I've met a successful person that has got the time. And I quickly explained to him the second line, because there's a lot of people that say that they're successful, but they're not, because they're in a job. They're caught in this net of trying to keep that they've got, because they've never learned how to be truly wealth creators and to be truly financially free. So in closing, always remember that in order for you to create financial freedom, you must make sure that today is going to be a perfect day. And that simply means that each and every day of your life, it means that you're going to take responsibility. If you're not prepared to take responsibility for each and every action and each and every thought that enters into your mind, you're not going to make it. You need to know the reason why you want it. I wanted to become financially free, and I knew the only way that I could do that was to become rich. That was as simple as that. And therefore, in the beginning, that was what I checked the whole time. How much money did I make, and how much money and how hard is my money working for me? And that simply means that you need to take the responsibility to do those things that you need to do. And you must have the intent. You must know exactly what it is that you want, because otherwise you're not going to get it. What is the outcome? And that's why I want you today to write down, why do you want to be rich? Why do you want to be financially free? Because unless you know and it's clear in your own mind why you want to do it, you're not going to do it. And that simply means that you're going to put in the time, you're going to put in the effort, you have to work on your mindsets on a day-to-day basis, because the society that we're in will try everything in their power to condition us that we're not good enough, or that we can't get it, or that it's too difficult in order to make money. And if a 10-year-old child can make money, and a 12-year-old in the hostel, I was in the boarding school at that stage, you know, I wanted to make money, and I found a way to make money at the age of 12. So don't come with this story and listen to the story that people say that you can't do it, because all I did was to add value. I saw a need in the marketplace. I saw that they were willing to pay for that, and I positioned myself in order to start making money at the age of 12 in a boarding school. And then you have to take massive action, because the only way that you're going to become successful and that you're going to make that money and that you will become financially free is if you consistently do that needs to be done each and every day. Because each and every thought, each and every action, every single thing that you're going to do today is either going to take you one step closer to your goal or one step away from your goal. And the greatest news that I've got for you, the most fabulous news, is that you're in control of that whole process. In other words, you can decide what's going to enter or what you will allow in terms of what's going to come into your thoughts, and what you are going to do in terms of solving problems and helping other people, and what skills you need to learn in order to do that. One of the greatest skills that I've ever learned in my life, and that I wish and I hope that you are going to do, is to learn how to become a wealth creator so that you can have a life of abundance. So I want to basically challenge you today to become a wealth creator so that you can have whatever you want and have that financial freedom. Right, so remember to subscribe to my blog, that is blog.hannesdreyer.com if you're not already on it, if you want more tips and strategies on financial freedom. And then in terms of my heart rate challenge, I've done what I was supposed to do. I feel good about that. In terms of the 2 cents, well, I did not do a lot yesterday. I had this interview, and for that reason I did not pay a lot of attention on the 2 cents challenge. Right? If you think that this video can help other people, perhaps friends or family, in order to create, to grow and to protect their wealth, Please share this with them, especially if you think it can help them to change their mindsets in order to become financially free. Please do that. And with that, then I'll see you tomorrow.